Now I'm going to tell you a bit more about nature in the city and how the Green Hare Street corridor relates to our mission and our other projects. So Nature in the City's mission is to connect everyone in San Francisco to nature by cultivating and conserving local habitat. So you've seen how the Green Hare Street corridor does that. We also, we have several other projects that I'm going to tell you about. And in addition to that, we just have a lot of engagement activities for members to connect and go on walks, for people to get involved in advocacy. We are very dedicated to equity, diversity, and inclusion. We're working hard, both organizationally and in our projects, to really focus on the everyone aspect of connecting to nature. And I'll just show you a few of the projects that we're working on that seek to do that. So here you're seeing some images of Ada's Stairway. Ada's Stairway is dedicated to Ada Bakalinsky, who wrote a book on stairway walks of San Francisco. And this is a great habitat restoration project that focuses in particular on bird habitat. And you can see the evidence of its success here in this image of a nest with eggs. So we're really proud of that. And we're also proud of the engagement that we've had with local organizations to do the restoration work. Hands-on Bay Area is pictured here. Next, the Palou Phelps project. This is ongoing, Palou Phelps Park and Community Garden. This is a beautiful, biodiverse wildflower meadow grassland habitat remnant in San Francisco. And Nature in the City is working really closely with the community to engage, to make this a park that people want to steward and can access. And so there's ongoing planting work, as well as work on trails and connections. And we're working on a community challenge grant to get some of that work done at Palou Phelps. The Tigers on Market Street project, near and dear to my heart. This is really fascinating story of the tiger swallowtail butterfly mistaking, you might say, or viewing the Market Street corridor in downtown San Francisco, which is lined with London plane trees, as a natural river corridor lined with its favorite larval host trees, the London plane tree. So what happens is that these butterflies come and they lay their eggs on the leaves of the trees. You can see there on Market Street. The caterpillars hatch out. They eat those leaves. They form their chrysalis and fledge out, and then it's quite spotty whether they've got good nectar sources and can survive there on Market Street. So this project is a lot about infusing local landscapes along the Market Street corridor with nectar sources for the butterflies, and also engaging designers and the local community to think about ways to catch caterpillars falling out of trees, create more of a soft space underneath, in addition to this work on public and private land, doing nectar source improvement. So some of the main things that are ongoing here, there's a Better Market Street plan underway, and we've engaged with the city to include nectar habitat sources for the tiger swallowtail butterfly in that plan, as the city looks to improve Market Street or in a lot of different ways. And we also have looked at engaging with corporate sponsors to help fund that work, as well as potentially fund some private some incentive money for private landowners in the vicinity to also plant nectar sources. So those are some aspirations. Those programs aren't fully operational yet, but as soon as we find an excited and willing corporate sponsor, they could be active. So last but not least, we have the Wild SF Gardening Program. I think this is not a unique, but a unusual model for a nonprofit that can be quite effective, where we have a gardening business that is wholly a part of Nature in the City, and any profits from the garden business go to support the nonprofit activities. And the gardening business is all about habitat planting at residences in San Francisco. This is also a way that Nature in the City is creating opportunity for youth and job development. We have most of the gardening work is done by interns who come from local universities and are learning job skills at the same time as contributing important work to habitat restoration in San Francisco. Last but not least, I'll tell you about our beautiful Nature in the City map project. This is the result of a collaboration over several years to document and share all the different nature areas and open spaces and habitat zones in San Francisco with everyone, so that people can better access and appreciate local nature. So we are distributing this map far and wide, and also considering working with other cities to help them develop similar maps. So if you would like to get involved with Nature in the City, there are several ways to do that. We have great volunteering opportunities to do hands-on restoration work, also to just connect with people, do walks, learn. We certainly are always seeking and benefiting from donations. If you're interested in supporting this work, we welcome your involvement. And in addition, advocacy, not everybody can come out and do hands-on work or donate, but maybe your contribution is better placed by participating in advocacy for the kind of supportive policy we talked about already today, in terms of supporting biodiversity initiatives at the city level. And certainly, I hope you maybe, if you don't live in San Francisco, hope this perhaps inspires you to think about what you might be able to do in your local city to promote biodiversity, biophilic cities, and the thriving together of people and nature. So thank you very much for your interest, and I hope you've been inspired.